Obviously, as you know, if you keep up with the show, Dani is out. Actually, I don't know what she's doing. Actually, I do know what she's doing, but that's not y'all's business. So as far as you know, she's climbing Mount Everest.
She told me she was climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, so she's actually climbing Mount Everest. She's made it farther than Darby. She actually re-broke the record that he broke. It's kind of embarrassing for him, actually. He should really do something about that. But Dani's climbing Mount Everest. And because Dani's out climbing Mount Everest, clearly there was a co-host vacancy for this week. And unlike the Hurt Syndicate, we do have a criteria of the people who are allowed to, the type of people who are allowed to come on the show. We have a criteria. I thought the Hurt Syndicate had a criteria too. But apparently we weren't all adhering to the criteria, but don't worry about it, guys. We're going to fix it. We have a really good special guest host today. Elle's here. How are you?
I'm good. I watched the whole show. It was a bit stressful, especially towards the end, but I'm excited to be here and to uplift Dani's legacy while she climbs Mount Everest.
You know, we have such a legacy of all sorts of shenanigans and debauchery here. So excited to have you become a part of it. This was a special Dynamite. You know, we only bring out the gold for the special shows because this was Beach Break. And it started with a bang. It ended with a bang. We had a couple bang, bang, bangs in the middle. It was a lot. Like, it was just a lot. And I will say kind of in a good way. I'm intrigued. Like, if you've been watching,
I was intrigued for most things.
Yes, like I feel like over these past week we've been really critical. We've been very, very critical, and I'm not going to pretend that any of that criticism has like gone by the wayside and like relevant. I think we can all agree. I think AEW's been doing some really great television lately, but when you think about where a lot of this stuff is heading, it just doesn't add up. Of just like they get really slick. Like they'll feed you really well with these all-star tags and these really inspired matches, and the TV be great. We get to pay-per-view day, and it's like, what the fuck? This is not what we discussed.
How did we get here?
This is not what we discussed. This was not on the syllabus. This is not what we talked about. But we could just start from the beginning, and we're just going to work our way up. We started with Hangman and Ospreay versus Takeshita and Josh Alexander. First, what did you think of this?
All I was thinking the whole time is, this sounds so wrong, but like those three, we get the vibe from those three, and I felt like Josh Alexander was just there. And that was throwing me off to begin with. But I did enjoy the whole back and forth going on between Hangman and Will Ospreay. I enjoyed that part. I didn't have much investment for this going into Double or Nothing because I cared more so about the women's bracket of the Owen. But that was a good way to like get my hopes up a little bit coming into it.
Yeah, I feel very similarly as at least about like the three. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think like Josh Alexander did bad or anything, but like, and I even saw it on the timeline. Several people are like, imagine if that was Kyle Fletcher. Imagine if that was Kenny Omega. Like, yeah, we just see a whole different type of match, you know, but it was really good. There's three men on this show that are genuinely above like any type that are above any type of criticism.
Who are they?
Hangman, Takeshita, and Kenny Omega. Honestly, Ospreay's up there too. Like, I mean, like just like gets glowing remarks. And so, like, to have three of them in one match truly was
Takeshita's also on my can do no wrong list.
So. Yes, like he's never done anything wrong in his entire life.
In his entire existence.
Yeah, it's kind of like crazy to be that perfect. But this was beautiful. It was amazing.
Yes.
The Hangman Ospreay stuff, like that.
Ooh. No, because first of all, can we talk about how homoerotic Hangman is? It's getting to a point now.
We actually talk about it very often.
It is so melodramatic every time, like the gaggery of the elbow.
Are you going to have chemistry literally with
everyone? Like everybody.
Like, can you truly leave some of the roster for everybody else? I just
like. Everybody else needs a gay feud too, and we can't do that if you have 6.
Yeah, please, you have to learn how to share. Like at this point, you really got to learn how to share. And also too, just like I was like, wow, they're a really good tag team. And so like you done already won the tag belts with Kenny. You gotta wear them with Swerve at some point. Now you gotta go wear them with Ospreay. Of just like, wow, Hangman, you really are everybody's like just dream guy in every single capacity. That's amazing. This was really fun. I had a blast.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, this was really fun. I had a blast.
While I was not hating per se, just confused because Josh Alexander just didn't feel like he fit the vibe. I was impressed because I have less so knowledge on him because I don't participate in TNA things as much as others, but
I think, and also too, I think I'd seen maybe 2 Josh Alexander matches before that, and I wasn't particularly like wowed. Like I remember I watched when Okada had the not trios belt, the never 6-man belts in New Japan with Ishii and Tanahashi. I know that they had a match against the Motor City Machine Guns and Josh Alexander, and that was good. And then I saw the match that Ospreay had with Josh Alexander in TNA, and it was good. However, the problem was it happened like on back-to-back with Ospreay wrestling Speedball. Good compared to godly. Just and I feel like it was just like, I don't know, like I feel like in wrestling you always think of either ors, and I'm like, so if AEW is gonna sign one of them, like respectfully, it has to be Speedball. But hey,
they got both. Period.
Tony Khan got money. We got contracts to go around. So hey,
that Kenny Omega tweet lives with me. Forever.
Hey, I wouldn't have signed 80.
I wouldn't have signed half of y'all.
No, 80%. Half is still too low. Half is still too low.
Too low.
But after wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where. Wait. What? Oh my gosh, I didn't write that down. What happened after the What happened after that? After that match?
There was I want to say the Hurt Syndicate match.
I think it was the Hurt Syndicate. Hold on.
I think so too.
No, it wasn't. Oh my gosh, it was that Ricochet versus Zach Gowen.
Super impressed. That was so cool. First of all, y'all, I was on my phone a little bit, so it took me like 10 minutes to realize that man was on one leg.
Ricochet is going to hell. I don't know another way to say it. He's going to hell. You're going with the what they say in the South. You going to the Lake of Fire, where the place where gasoline draws on. That's what we say.
Oh my goodness.
The churchy folk. How dare
Ricochet's a nut. Like I could not believe the things that I was seeing. Cause like, how do you your brain don't even have like a let me chill? He on one. No, not at all. He's not real. He's not real. And also, but what I do appreciate is that I guess I went into it thinking it was going to be like a standard squash match, and it really wasn't that. Gowen got in a lot of substantial offense, and then also too a lot of the kickouts. I think I heard of him a couple years ago. I vividly remember when AEW was in its COVID era of hearing about a pro wrestler who was on one leg.
And it's so funny because I've been watching wrestling for a long time, but he's actually one of the people who's before my time. So I think he was around 2005. I started watching wrestling in 2006. And so I wasn't really familiar. I hadn't seen anything of his. So it was really cool to experience that. He dropped one hell of a promo last week, and they put it on Twitter And it was really awesome. And it was him and his kids, and he was like, "We don't quit, and we don't fail." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like they gonna kill
You know what? Hell yeah.
They gonna kill you on Wednesday, but hell yeah, Ricochet gonna do something so nasty and so rude.
Yeah, like he's reached a new level of sinister. I always felt
he's a villain,
no matter what company he was in, I felt the energy. But now he's living his true self.
He can be himself. And you know what? What I think is really great about Ricochet compared to like other like heels is that he's genuinely he's looking for heat, but he's not looking to be liked. Like, I think that's the thing. So many heels now are trying to be like that anti-hero, or they're trying to be cool, or even though they do bad stuff, they want to be cheered for doing bad stuff. Ricochet doesn't care at this point. He don't care. He gonna get this locker room in trouble. He gonna get the other locker rooms in trouble. He's gonna bait people on Twitter. He's gonna argue.
I think the trolling is definitely the best part, because it's so funny, because it's like, if you don't take it seriously, good job, we having a key. If you do take it seriously, thank you God. Now we're all laughing at you.
Now you're in class. Now you're in media training on a Monday afternoon. You got the entire class in trouble. And just because you took the bait with Ricochet of just
one of y'all broke the lamp, now everybody got a whooping.
He lives for this. Like, he's not new to this. He's true to this. Really, really interesting stuff. I'm interested to see like where he goes after this. Of maybe they just kind of like let him do like little things maybe between now and Double or Nothing until Kevin Knight gets back. That's probably what I'm thinking.
I want a championship on him.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, like, I think Ricochet is actually, and somebody said it, he's performing on a world champion level, but that's the thing. There's at least like 5 guys who currently are. Yeah. I don't know which championship. He's not getting Kenny's. He's not getting Okada's, at least before All In.
Kenny has no business having that damn belt.
Who? Who? Hold
on.
Oh, wait, who?
In the sense that I feel like that belt should be for more people in the realm of Speedball, Ricochet, mid-Carter is like, you're God.
That's what happened when
what does God want to do with that belt? Quickly.
Well, here's the thing. That's what happens when you're committed to Bulldog chokes and the Death Riders. That's what they got my goat doing, and I can agree with that. That's what happens. It come with a Bulldog choke. Unfortunately, that's just where we are.
It comes with Marina Shafir and a blade job, and I'm so tired.
Well, we're gonna get there. But yeah, I think also too, I don't know, it's gonna have to be Adam Cole. Adam Cole got to come off that belt. I don't know what to tell you. Adam Cole gonna have to come off that belt. It was
quickly.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns, but he's gonna have to come off that belt. I don't know another way to tell you.
I'm trying to. It takes you that long to find it. It does. Hold on. He never should have had it either, and not in the way that I mean for Kenny, in the way that no gold, period.
I feel like the appropriate place for Adam Cole would have been if Undisputed Kingdom had won the trios belts when they were supposed to. That could have happened.
I wouldn't have been angry at that, but I wasn't writing for that necessarily either. I do like them together, but I feel like it's like, if there's anything that's recycled as an old gimmick and it's like it works, but it's just old WWE nachos, it's definitely that.
Correct.
Like,
yes.
I could shoot for anything and be like, well, it works now, because no, that is simply NXT nachos that they refuse to let go of. And I feel like Roddy and Kyle I enjoyed together, but the three, it just feels like they're reliving something that no one cares for.
We've talked about it on this show of just, and I was even firmly against them even getting back together. Just like, don't get me wrong, they work really well. And that's why I said I wouldn't have been mad at them winning the trios belts. But I feel like Roddy and Kyle had to significantly shrink to be able to make space for, for Adam Cole at this point. I think that
Roddy was doing some of his best work.
Roddy last year was on like this insane singles run. Like I truly believe like he held the mid card together on the men's side, and then Kyle O'Reilly, like, was doing great stuff with the conglomeration, and it's just like, oh wow, Adam Cole lost his way, so like we got to put all these people, we got to put Undisputed Kingdom back together to push him back up. And so
first of all, where did the Kingdom part go?
They were off TV completely for a long time, and then I think they just came back to Ring of Honor like last week. So I don't know if it had something to do with like the Maria leaving thing or some point, or I have no idea. But that's a really good question because I really like them. I think that they were a solid tag team, and as we learned tonight, we could use some solid tag teams. That I might tell you a joke, but I never tell you a lie.
Well, hold on. I like the little tag team division we got. It's very black.
It's very black, but it's also very bare. Like it's very bare. And I think also too of just, how do I say it? None of these teams are in a position to be able to carry. And I think that is a problem that AEW has really faced. There's a lack of anchor teams. Like I think that you have every division, like you see it with the women's division.
Almost every one of their tag teams is an up and coming tag team.
Correct.
Except
FTR and the Bucks. Those are the only, like, you used to have the Lucha Bros up there. You used to have like
even House of Black, like
the Acclaimed had gotten there for a certain, like, at some point, like, you had your anchor teams to like really anchor the division.
Yeah.
And you don't have that anymore. Like Top Flight never got there.
That makes me so sad. I love them.
It does. But I will say, like, how do I say this? Top Flight is only, in my opinion, just now getting back into good ring shape. Like, I feel like for a while, they were not having good matches. And it's not 100% their fault. Like, Darius and, like, Dante got injured.
They could not catch a break.
Exactly. No, Darius got injured first. Dante was a solo guy. Then Dante gets injured. Darius is
back.
Then, like, they both come back. And then they're still dealing with stuff. And then
Darius got injured again. Dante's with Action Andretti. Then it's the three of them. Then Action Andretti. Then Leo. Then both of them leave. I'm so confused.
And so, like, you have the lack of anchor teams. And I do think, like, that
frustrates me as well. Why did they separate them just to make them essentially feud against each other for the rest of their careers?
They did teams and have nothing for them to do.
Y'all could have kept them as an arguing faction at that point.
Absolutely. But they didn't have anything, but that's the thing. Like, that's the lack of depth. And I also think, like, not being able to sign Motor City Machine Guns, that played a part there too, because like you would have had an instant anchor team, like for the director, for that, but you didn't get that. I mean, you could always have like Kyle and Roddy end up doing that, but it just depends on, are they doing trio stuff? Are they doing tag stuff? And like, so like, it's just very convoluted right now.
The trios belts, I feel like, should be put on the back burner until we get the regular tag division together.
See, AEW has this problem of constantly, it feels like when the trios division is finally cooking, the tag division is the shits. And when the tag division is cooking, the trios is in the shit. And I don't get it, because very rarely are the teams that compete in trios are actually competing for the tag belts. So I'm not sure if it's a will issue, a skill issue, a booking issue. It's just weird. Like, because like, for example, like the Ops.
Booking skill issue.
It's like the Ops. They don't challenge for tag belts ever. I don't think they've really challenged in the tag division like that. And you have all these tag teams they're not really challenging in the trios division. So there really shouldn't be too much overlap. But for some reason, we can't walk and chew gum at the same time, which is amazing. But I digress. Hurt Syndicate versus Top Flight happened. It was super short, about less than 5 minutes. The real fireworks happened after the match. Before the match too, you had the MJF segment, and then MVP told him to meet them out there afterwards. The post-match segment with all the tag teams wasn't really good. They need Jet Speed back like ASAP, and that's not until
right now.
June.
I didn't even realize that I was gonna realize he wasn't there, because it do take me a minute to like feel a wrestler's absence.
Yeah.
But I felt it. Like he definitely like sat his ass into that main roster and was like, "This is my shit." Because I'm like, damn, where's Kevin Knight at? And I don't feel that for a lot of singles competitors.
But that's also proof of like how he was pushed too, of just like, I think sometimes, you know, somebody will get signed and then it just be like, oh, like I forgot they were here. But you know, when you make a star a priority, when you tell your audience that this person is important and that you need to be paying attention to them, and not even just Kevin Knight, Speedball too, but because obviously Speedball can't be a tag team by himself. When you tell your audience that people are important, guess what? They know to look for those people and they know to look out for those people. And so, yeah, Kevin Knight's unfortunately not going to come back. Well, I mean, unfortunately for people who just watch AEW, is not coming back until first week of June. But he's having excellent matches in Best of Super Juniors tournament right now, which I encourage everybody to go watch. He had a great match with Mao, and he had a great match with Robbie Eagles earlier this morning. So I'd stay tuned for that if you have been keeping up with that. And then MJF came out. Listen, my people. Oh God.
I hate that I called it. I genuinely hate that I called it.
I laughed. I giggled. I did giggle. Despite myself, I did do a little.
I hate myself for the fact that I love every single bit of this. MJF treating them like his uncles who let him get on the game.
Hey!
Him going, "Hey guys, I hurt people. Look at me."
When Big Bob put that thumbs up, he started screaming, "We hurt people! We hurt people! He wrapped his legs around Bobby Lashley like that was his daddy. I said, "Oh my God!"
The thumbs ups was funny as hell.
Have some decorum, please. Shelton said, "Listen, I'm just in the middle
of that man Montel."
I will say, this is a show where we've been very, very hard on MJF. Very, very hard on MJF.
Absolutely.
I feel like, and he's deserved all of it, actually.
70% of it.
He's probably just way more than that. But this run that he's been on, especially since like the Hangman feud, really good stuff, really inspired. Yeah. He's a person you can tell when he's not into what he's doing. Yeah. But he's also very obvious of when he isn't interested in what he's doing. This has been really good. I'm excited. Somebody said on Twitter that they're going to do his version of the Red Wedding next week. Like they're going to jump him in. Unfortunately, it's a real possibility. Do you know what the Red Wedding is?
Yes, that's why I'm highly concerned.
I was about to say.
Who had been saying that?
Yeah,
it's that though.
Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. It's going to get really, really gutter butt. I would like to see it. I thought
I was the only person who said that word. I knew I didn't make that up. I heard that.
Oh, you talking about gutter butt? Yeah,
I use that word all the time, and everybody be like, "Where you get that from?" I thought I made it up.
We use it a lot down here.
Somebody Southern I got it from.
It's Southern. Yeah, we real gutter butt. But yes, casually referring to mass murder. Well, yes. But yeah, MJF, rest in peace in advance, brother. Next we had also too. Sorry, I skipped over this like the tag stuff. Why was Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara out there? I my brain blocked that out for me.
Oh, Lyric, I don't have to explain this to you, but I'm gonna explain it to the people who don't know me. Anytime I see a champion from Ring of Honor show up on that godforsaken show, I just, nothing but rage fills the room, because we're well aware that Ring of Honor is quite literally the nothing but fuck show. There is one saving grace of that show, and you give us all the fries at the bottom of the fucking bag except Athena every single time. Don't show me Ring of Nothing unless it's Athena. I'm so for real, especially that godforsaken tag team. What are they called? The Sons of Texas? Grandpa and the Son of Texas? I'm tired of this. They have no business being near the Hurt Syndicate. None, unless the Hurt Syndicate is doubling up on tag titles. And I'm so for real.
I'm gonna be real. Athena could be on every single episode of AEW television, and I still wouldn't have liked it. I agree with you what you were saying though, but I still wouldn't have liked it. Y'all, keep up with the program. Dani's climbing Mount Everest. What? We explained this already. Anyway, like I was saying, Dustin and Sammy Guevara, and I talked about this, and I think I want to bring this back to DG too. AEW is like on their third or fourth generation of like young building blocks at this point.
Yes.
Like, you had the original pillars, you had Darby, Max.
It was Darby, Max,
Sammy, Jungle
Britt.
Boy, which is
oh yeah, he was a pillar.
Yes, and
I liked the pillars match. I forgot about that.
And I'll be honest, I would even put Hangman up there because age-wise of where they were, he was on this, like, even though he wasn't technically called a pillar, age-wise.
I feel like there's a difference between founding fathers and pillars. You're a founding father.
Yes. But I mean, also at the same time, like Hangman he wasn't made until he got there. So I can't say like he was already made. Like he wasn't.
Fair point.
But like
I didn't know none of them niggas until I started watching AEW. So in my head.
Exactly. They're all new. So they were the first 5 guys like they wanted to build on. And then the next 2 years, you add on, like I would say, like that Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, Lee Moriarty generation. Then you get like 2, and I would say you add Swerve in there too. He gets signed around that time. And then you get into like the Ospreay, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. I'll throw Kevin Knight in there just because like he has the same type of like
I would too.
Training. Like he comes from Japan just like the rest of those guys. So like we are so far removed from the pillars. If you only got 2 main event guys out of that, that's really good. You're not gonna hit them all. You hit with them all, right? Like you got Darby, you got MJF out of it. You got you can get something out of Jack Perry at this point. Sammy's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. The company is 6 years old. It's not gonna work. Sammy Guevara's he has 2 options. He can either stay in Ring of Honor, mind his business, grab that tag rope, or if he genuinely wants to be a single star and he genuinely wants to stay in AEW, he needs to start wrestling with a mask. Like, I'm so serious. I'm talking about like
I know.
A genuine character change, a genuine gimmick change, a complete rebrand. If people know it's him, they not like, and the reason why, and it's not because of his ability. People know that Sammy will do the craziest flips. They just don't care. I done seen Sammy do some crazy shit, almost break his neck, and look around in the crowd and people on their phones like,
I'm people. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Stop trying to make that happen, Gretchen. It's not gonna happen.
I sure did just try to. The wheels was turning on how to make fetch happen, and I sure can't figure it out. So
it's not gonna happen. He's either
maybe Lucha Guevara is the move, but I feel like I don't think that would work either.
here's the thing: if there was ever a time to make it happen, it's now. Like, you have the CMLL relationship, like you have like all these different opportunities to really like let these.
You know what's crazy? As far as I know, because I keep up with Ring of Honor more than the average person, they are perfectly happy doing that Sons of Texas shit, and it's so crazy.
Really, not if they came to my beloved Dynamite.
They're so happy, and I'm like, are y'all happy because you're not doing nothing? Like, are you happy because you're not working that much? Are you,
well, here's the thing. Dustin Rhodes is doing what he wants. Sammy Guevara is doing what he can. Two different parts of their careers, right? Like, just like.
Yeah, I can see why Dustin's happy doing his little dig, but
yeah.
Sammy's what? Like, isn't he not even 30 yet?
Like, he's barely, like, he's in his early 30s. Like I said, he's like the same age as like Hangman and them, like, and Darby. Like, they're all early, 30s. So just, I don't know.
Even my thing is like, let's say Tony Khan has a change of heart and he just wants to push Sammy Guevara, put him back on the big show.
Why would you do that?
That's where I'm getting.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, why would you do that? But at the same time, it's like, because I know that there has to be some type of relationship there, because AEW ain't been scared to do releases. We've seen a couple lately. So if there's
they're never gonna release him though.
That's what I'm saying. There's a relationship there that's never happening. So it's like, if Tony Khan has a change of heart and is like, let me try to singles push my dude, I feel like we'd end up in a position where leaving would have to be the choice, because again, like, tens of thousands of people literally napping through your matches.
I think honestly, somebody said, I think he should. I don't know if they can get the rights to it. I mean, it might be sticky, but if you can revive the suicide gimmick, I think he'd be perfect for it. Like, he'd be a great suicide. Like, he would be a fantastic person to really put that mask back on, like the full body suit and everything. Now, hey, will he want to do it? Who knows? But I think that Sammy's best bet. And here's the thing: if you do it now, you can always unmask later once you're over. Right. Yeah, but the thing is, you got to get over first before. And if people know it's you at this point, they're not with it. So yeah, that I just wanted to be like, what was that? And he told Crew, wait in line. Crew has been literally sitting outside of all these tag matches for the last 3 months, and at the concession stands and sitting in the crowds during the pay-per-views. What do you mean, wait your turn? Are you crazy? Right. Who? Dude, this look like I got left out bad and bougie. Are you crazy? I digress. Next, we went to the women's 4-way match. We had Toni Storm versus Azumi, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, versus Mina Shirakawa, who is finally making her AEW debut as a full-time wrestler on the roster. Then we had the returning Skye Blue.
So much to talk about here.
Yeah, I have so much to start with.
Insane amount of things to talk about. Toni looked really good.
Amazing. Yes. Yeah, she looks amazing.
Mina Shirakawa's theme song. I know Tony Khan scrapped it because we literally screamed at him so bad in a 10-minute span that he had to.
I don't even think it was that. I genuinely don't even think it was that. I think it was, with how quick he did it, I think he heard it in his own ears and said, oh. Because I think, like, sometimes, like, you'll listen to something by yourself, you'll be like, okay, and then you listen to it in front of other people, be like, fuck. Why did I do that? That was, I didn't like the new dance. I ain't like none. She looked beautiful, amazing, 10 out of 10, no notes.
Mina always looks great.
But girl, what was that?
I have no clue.
Don't ever do
Poor
that
thing. You could see her trying to feel it. She was like, Mina.
And I'll say this, and I rarely say this about non-Black women, but one thing about Mina, she's always on beat.
Okay.
So to see her off beat, I said,
this is confused.
This isn't for my
figure out how to dance.
I've seen her hit that heel toe everywhere she goes. She hits that dance from here to there. She's always on beat. She's always on time. And the fact that she wasn't, like I said, I'm not even going to go too hard on this because clearly we all acknowledge this was an error. It won't be happening again.
I just need to, I must divulge into the details of said song. Was the man British? Why was the ad lib just Mina? The beat
it was getting really Def Rebel. It got real.
It was Def Rebel down. And then, first of all, Mina's never even said that shit. Mina's catchphrase is, "You want Mina?" And then she said, "Oh, so you don't want some Mina?" She ain't never said that shit.
Never said that shit. My thing is also so too, confused. What I don't want them to do is like, you don't have to sell Mina Shirakawa to us. Like, you don't have to get her over. You don't have to convince the American audience to love her. That work has already been done. And I think even without Mariah being in the equation anymore, it's very clear that Mina's very over. People remember her history with Toni. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. The best thing, I'm not saying that she has to be exactly the same. And like, it's okay to change up a few things, you know, now that you're full-time on the roster, of course. Mm-hmm. But
I don't even have a problem with a theme change. It was just that monstrosity that hit my ears.
No, it was all terrible, and it's okay. I think we should admit that the talking, the rapping, the dancing, the sing, the music, it was all bad. But like I said, we already cool in Mina. We know Mina, so we just gonna chop it up, charge it to the game. Everybody acknowledged that this was not a great idea.
Right.
We'll be moving in quarter, and then next week. We need that.
Right. Tony Khan said, "Look over there."
Yeah, we need to. You know the dance. We about to be doing that. Next we had Skye Blue come back. Really good to see Skye. Really good to see her. I'm really happy to have her back. One thing about Skye Blue, she's not the best on the roster, but she is one of the hardest working. Before she got injured, my sister was getting booked here, there, everywhere. She was working Ring of Honor. She was working Rampage. She was working the Indies. Getting every rep possible. Skye Blue is a real demon. Skye is not in the ring shape that she was, but it's ring rust. So I hope that, and I know just because her being who she is, she's going to go get those the reps that she needs to shake off that ring rust. So like, I'm not even worried. But yes, a lot of the sloppiness attributed to this match, it did come from her. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is. She's gonna bounce back. Lots of cool stuff here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Skye, she's always been one that I always look out for. Like, I just was really excited when I heard that she was coming back because she isn't one of the people that when you think AEW women's roster, like hoop greatness, she's not one of the first people that comes to mind, but she's one of the people that can continuously change your mind on that. It's like, damn, she can hoop. And that is a quality I really appreciate, because sometimes you could tell, like, with the less strenuous schedule, a lot of the AEW roster, man or woman, just be like, whoopty fucking doo-doo, like, you know. But she's someone who absolutely pushes herself and wants to be like that nigga, and I like that about her.
No, I think also too, like, she's not one of like the best pure wrestlers, but she is like, when I think of like the sicko side of AEW, when it comes to the women, she's somebody that I think about. Like, if we having a street fight, if we having a no DQ match, I'm calling Skye Blue.
Yeah, there's just something about her that's a demon. Like, she's no American Dragon or nothing, but like, she's such a fighter, and you could tell, like, put her in a 30-minute match, like, it's not gonna be a 5-star, but you gonna feel it.
I can't wait to see her wrestle Billy Starks.
Oh my god.
Like they
she
go
has in passing, but I need it like for
like
consequences.
They gonna kill each other, literally.
Absolutely.
They gonna get real nasty boots. It's
Billy Starks, please free my demons from
return my demon to sender. Please return my demon. Return my demon. Return my demon. Return my demon. Return my demon.
Give me my demons back on TV, please.
Yeah, and then of course big zooms. Something about Azumi just brings the dog out of Toni Storm always. She's the one who woke her up that first time when that wrestling wasn't up to par. Shout out to Azumi. Like, truly, I think she was the perfect person to continue the lineage of that New Japan Strong Women's Championship.
Me too.
She's been waiting on that big singles belt for a very long time, and I think that she's going to be like the next. She's going to be that person of Joshi wrestling that really kind of
changed the game for sure.
Yeah,
I really love
she's
Azumi.
A global superstar, like same way like Io is in a lot of ways. Like Azumi's going to be that. Like she's already a young legend.
And I really appreciate that. Like the 2 belts that New Japan has for the women, they are kind of like almost American belts. Don't get me wrong, they get used in Japan, but we will see them more often than not here. And I feel like that is a great way to kick off for Azumi, because the New Japan belt and the New Japan Strong belt, they're such workhorse titles because you're working with them in America and Japan. And I feel like Azumi is such a good person to carry that forward, because she's all gas, no brakes all the time, no Jacob Fatu. And I think she'll be great with it.
And I think also Stardom right now needs that person to be kind of like that banner holder,
a carrier
of, you don't have Mina there who was like that crossover between, like, you know, the Japan and the US, and like, you know, even like you don't have like Mai there on the IWGP side, and like the next champ, even like Suri has the belt now, but she's probably dropping it to Sari, which is gonna be fucking incredible. But Sari's also a freelancer, unless something changes in the next 2 months, which will always also be a blockbuster. So like, as far as being like that gateway, that global star for Stardom, that gap is kind of really wide open. And I think it's and I mean, hell, you even got Hazuki and Kaguma. They're going like on a freelance run for right now. Like, they left Stars, and so like there's a lot of gaps.
They're so fucking cool.
And Saya Kamitani is really focused on being like the ace of Stardom, like in Japan. And so like you need those type of global stars. Azumi's she's the sturdy person to like really hold it. I'm really excited to see like what she does. But yes, this match, Toni Storm ends up getting pinned by Mina. I didn't see that coming.
Her reaction was hilarious.
They put that match graphic up so fast. I said, "Oh my god, Double or Nothing." They wrestling. Oh my god.
I jumped out of my seat. I said, yes, more women on that show. Because I was not that excited for Double or Nothing, but that did push my excitement up a little bit more. And Anarchy in the Arena. Ooh,
I'm actually really excited to see. I'm excited to see what a Toni Mina match looks like right now. Like, I think that I was in the building for that match that they had at Forbidden Door. I think it was really good. Wait, no, I think it was pretty good. But I think I'm interested to see them have just a pure wrestling match outside of Mariah, what that looks like.
Something I've noticed about Mina, and I'm not educated enough to know if this is a character trait that she's always had, but Mina, after title matches, loses her fucking shit when she loses. She goes batshit crazy.
She did after Wrestle Dynasty.
It's really fun to witness.
Yeah, she did after Wrestle Dynasty. She does. I think it's also interesting because I think now that she's a full-time star,
that's
I'm not saying she's going to beat Toni or anything, but hell, you know, who knows? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I know anything.
I feel like in her time in AEW, where she was still working for Stardom, I felt like she was more so just a fun character. She got a bit more serious when it came to her and Mariah, but overall, she was just like hey, shake them titties, do my dance. But I feel like now that she's a full-time member of the roster, but also the first thing she did as a member of the roster is get Toni's attention and a title shot. I feel like I want to see a side of her that is more determined and not just having fun. I want her to, like, get in the paint and be like, I am better than you bitches. Because she is a lot better than a lot of them.
Being vicious. The post-match segment. Okay. I have thoughts. I have
too much fighting, not enough talking. I can't with the brawls. The brawls are getting me invested.
I'm not even mad about the brawl. My thing is just how it was done. Like, you gave us the same, like, Mercedes. It was the same
brawl as last time.
Yes. 4 belts money. Like, Mercedes' whole character is built around, like, these belts and being this belt collector. She lost one. She got at least 3 ops. Toni is who she's gunning for at the end of the Owen Cup. Mina cost her championship. Azumi has the championship that she lost. I'm trying to see Big CEO really crash them. Like, I need Mercedes out there, guns blazing. I want her with a kendo stick, whack, whack, whack,
yes,
whack.
But also, that's also why I have a problem with the brawls, because I feel like we only get so much out of that, and it's starting to look the same. Yes. Like, it would be a lot more entertaining to me if today she came out, crashed on Azumi, grabbed a mic, and said, everybody in this motherfucker got me fucked up. That would be so much more entertaining than, oh man, she hit Azumi. Oh man, Jamie hit her.
I think also too of just, how do I say it? And I think they did this really well with Toni Storm. And I guess, like, obviously it's not over for Mercedes, but you can tell because she always looks so good. You can tell so many stories, I feel like, through her appearance. Like, girl, look, I want to look like you haven't slept in a week. Like, let's play up the eye makeup or something. Like let's play up, like, how when Mariah, like, towards that last match, Mariah, her hair was always in a ponytail and like these shirts, and she's like looks really unkempt. And I'm not saying, listen, Mercedes is always going to be Mercedes. I'm not saying she need to look like a bag lady or nothing.
You don't gotta look ugly, but I feel like we have seen multiple times in AEW appearance be used to tell a story. Mm-hmm. For example, when Willow was tied up with House of Black and she started coming out with dark eye makeup and we were questioning whose side she was on.
Correct.
Or Toni showing up in like man clothes or straight up dressing as her old self to tell a story. Or Mariah showing up with a bun and fucked up mascara. Like, come on, like, you literally screamed to the top, you screamed to the heavens when you lost that championship. And then CEO thing, like, no, where's the stress? Where's the anguish?
I needed it a little bit more. And I think also too, you just got Jamie. This is my thing. I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just being hypercritical here. I feel like we know nothing about Jamie Hayter right now. That's
what I keep saying. I feel like a conversation between the two would do us so much more justice. I really hope we get it next week because they're both going through so much right now. Jamie, they had her fucked up when she first got back, but she's finally getting an opportunity, a big one, against Mercedes. Mercedes just lost one of her babies. She's losing her goddamn mind. How hard would it be for Jamie to be like, 3 belts have an asshole, and Mercedes crash? That's
I
not
think
that
also
hard.
too of just so. They still have, and maybe I'm trying to think of it. It feels like it almost feels like a done deal, and like fans, it feel like have mentally, and I'm not even just talking about just Mercedes fans. I think fans in general, from what I've seen, have just mentally already
decided Mercedes won.
Mercedes won. Is Mercedes versus Toni. Even me to a certain extent. And like, trust me, y'all, I want Mercedes versus Athena at All In more than anything. But the vibes that I've been getting, it was just like, okay, she gonna win, y'all. Like, they not even trying to, like, Jamie just doesn't feel like a legit contender. And like, of course, her fans are gonna say like, "Oh yeah, but you know, it come with a haterade, etc." Let me tell you this, and we've said this numerous times on this show. If you started watching AEW after Double or Nothing 2023, you have no idea that Jamie Hayter was one, like the biggest star in the division, like at some point.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea unless like you just went, unless when AEW went on Max, y'all just decided to binge everything. But seriously, it just, and nothing that they've done since. And also too, people are like, well, it makes so much sense because Toni and Jamie have this history, and Toni calls Jamie the title, and this. They have not mentioned it once.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Jamie,
I hate to be that person, but
has not mentioned it. Jamie hasn't mentioned it. Toni hasn't even barely acknowledged as Jamie. Toni on screen has said the words Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander at least 3 more times each. He has said Jamie Hayter.
Fuck.
And you know, it could be argued like maybe I'm trying to convince myself delusionally that this is all on purpose to get us to underestimate Jamie.
But hear me out. I feel like, don't get me wrong, they're doing Jamie dirty. But I feel like we're in a spot in the division, like the same way we've went through like 4 phases with the men, same thing with the women. During Jamie's peak in the division, the other peak girls around her were goddamn Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Saraya.
Points
Come on, man.
Points were made.
And that doesn't excuse
her
booking, because Jamie's lost a lot more than I agree with. But I feel like
I agree. She hasn't been particularly stellar since she came back. And I will be honest about that. Is she talking more? Yes. But something still has not clicked. And I think even too, and like, how do I say this? Oh no, we said this last week. I ain't got to sugarcoat the shit. That Owens final was ass. It wasn't like it was a match. It was okay match. It was an okay TV match for the middle of the card, random women's match. It did not feel like an Owens semifinal. And I'm going to be honest, we know for a fact that Chris Statlander regularly has better matches than that. Yeah. So it couldn't have been her. And I'm not putting it all on one person, but here's the thing. We all knew that match was not going to be Mercedes versus Athena. Like, that was an impossibly set high bar, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't comparable in any type of way. And I think, like, you know, 2 years ago, it is comparable. Like, it's probably, it might be just as good 2 years ago, but that's just not where we are now. And I don't know. It just, even when like Jamie came out to like attack Mercedes, it felt like slow and clunky. And I think, yeah, it's just.
What I'm hoping is that me and you get what we want, and that's the reason Jamie feels like a back burner, because she is.
Yes. And here's the thing, I think, and this is the problem.
Because if Jamie actually, like, there is a future for Jamie Toni, and sooner than later, I'm gonna be pissed at her presentation, because this makes no sense.
And here's the thing, if she actually beats Mercedes, like, she has to beat Toni. And if you gonna beat Toni at right now,
and Mercedes,
it's just so murky, because the thing is, like, y'all, like I said, I want Mercedes versus Athena to happen.
That's not entirely true. If we get what we want, she don't have to beat Toni. Like, if Athena gets involved, then that's a way for Jamie beating Mercedes to not mean that much.
I don't know. Like, I feel like we are in so many bad predicaments, because here's the thing. If no titles were involved, if Athena was not waiting on the other side, if Mercedes was not TBS champion, if I had to call this Owen final down the middle, of who's performing the best, Mercedes is like, I mean,
bar none.
light years ahead. Light
That's
years
not fair.
ahead. Like, and it's not even fun. And here's the
It's
thing,
not fair, man.
Mercedes is not a great talker, and she's still light years ahead.
It's because neither of them are. It's like, okay, both of y'all is Graps.
And so it's
neither
aura.
of y'all
So
can talk
literally,
about nothing. So it's
the
literally
difference
just
maker
up
is
to
aura.
aura.
And an aura off.
Respectfully, Jamie's aura just comes from like the 70s vibe.
And honestly, the 70s vibe, respectfully, it's not as strong as I think her previous gimmick.
I agree. Oh man, those blonde bangs.
Bro, the blonde bangs, the muscles.
No, y'all don't understand. I was in my house kissing my biceps like I have some. Like,
I literally have the t-shirt. I have the t-shirt of her kissing her bicep. Like, unfortunately, bro, we were so up, man. That hater summer, man. Y'all had to be there. It's just one of those things too of just, I'm gonna be real. Mercedes taking her first loss via unclean to this version of Jamie Hayter, especially if the match is just only okay. There is stuff to be mad about. However,
I don't have
Mercedes
the highest hopes.
versus Cena, I would do it.
I don't have the highest hopes for for Jamie Mercedes, because I know that it'll be good sound wrestling. Don't get me wrong. But my favorite thing to see Mercedes do is all gas, no brakes wrestling. I want to see go, 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 because I know she can. And I feel like the whole powerhouse thing, it's going to be more slow, methodical, and I don't think that'll be fun. Not for what we're dealing with.
I agree. And I
Double or
think
Nothing.
also too of just the Chris Statlander match was a preview of kind of like what we're working with. In my opinion, Chris Statlander is the most consistent woman on the roster, period. Like, as far as having consistently good matches, it's Chris. It's Chris.
I want to say Willow.
No, it's Chris.
You don't think so?
Like, I've seen Willow.
It's by a hair, but I'm just thinking.
I think Stat is a better pure wrestler than Willow. Willow's charisma is much better than like Chris Stat. Like, they balance each other out like very well. And that way, I've seen Willow have some like sloppy matches like before, like, you know.
I think it's just because I'm more excited to see Willow most of the time.
That's where the charisma comes in, right? That's where the Riz comes in, of just kind of like Billy Starks, right? Of she'll have like, her matches might be sloppy sometimes, but she's so charming and endearing, and like, you know how bad she wants it, to the point to where it still moves you. It gets the people going, you know. But when it comes to like,
I think her sloppiness is like part of the charm, like on some good party shit.
But at the same time, what I'm saying is like, when it comes to like being consistent, just based off in ring, Chris Statlander is the most dependable person of just like, she's sturdy as a base. You flying, she catching. Like, everything, like the moves gonna hit at the same time. And so like, if her ceiling with Chris Statlander in 2025 was 3 3/4, Mercedes is the greatest, but she's not a miracle worker. She can probably pull out maybe, I would say, a half a star, anywhere from a half a star to maybe 3/4 of a star higher than that. So
yeah, I don't think we're touching 5. I can say with confidence we're not touching 5.
We're not. No. Excellent would be 4.5. The lower end will probably be 3 3/4. We're looking somewhere between 4 and 4.25 would be the sweet spot for me to consider it a win.
Yeah.
I
just hope the crowd cares. I truly just feel like they've done a bad job with this build, and I feel like there's literally been an entire month of in-between time. So for the build to consist of no conversations between the two, the build has been Jamie did an interview with Renee, then they did the fight in the crowd, and then today. Unfucking acceptable. Sorry, y'all had a month.
I think also too of just, especially now that we know that, bro, Willow's doing Anarchy in the Arena. Think about what the other women on the card are doing. Like, I think like the other matches just are going to come off just more fun. Like, you know, Toni and Mina, their characters plus the history they have together. You know, at minimum, will it be the most like best, most technically sound match in the world? No, but it's going to be entertaining. Like, you know, like it's going to be entertaining. Like Mercedes, I believe that she could wrestle a broomstick, you know, to at least a 4-star match. But, and I'm not even trying to say like Jamie a scrub for real, but as far as like genuine heat here, like, you know, look at what Hangman and Ospreay did tonight.
A crowd not caring will make a match worse. Absolutely.
Like, look at what Hangman and Ospreay did tonight. These are two guys who had no history together, never had done anything together. They've been working together for what, 2 weeks, and look at the chemistry and like
got the club jumping,
the in-ring storytelling that they're doing. Like, oh my gosh, like this is now like the people are salivating. Like the people are salivating for this match. Like I want to salivate over this match. Like you asked me 2 years ago, Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter was my dream match, and now it's like, let's get it over with, man. Like, it's just no.
I feel like that entirely too often with Mercedes matches, and they need to fix that because I want to be excited to see my CEO.
I think it's because they haven't really established really great rivalries.
They're not giving her the opportunity to give depth. The most depth we've ever gotten with Mercedes is Harley Cameron.
I was going to say Athena, actually.
Oh, you think so?
I 100% think so. Like, don't get me wrong. Harley was it was entertaining. It was fun. It was like, you know, stuff like that. But as far as building a rivalry, Mercedes and Athena, like the teases that they were doing, like the Billy Starr, and then, you know, the Momo.
Whoever trained her.
Again, even too, Mercedes working Collision, doing those tag matches, like really building, like, you know, building that chemistry, preview tags, like
bring back the art of preview tags to women's wrestling, for the love of God, especially at the other place. Oh my God.
And here's the thing, Mercedes not being great on the mic, it only matters when she's with certain opponents. Her and Athena did excellent against each other. Her and Willow did excellent against each other. Even the stuff that she was doing against Chris Statlander was great. And so, like, my thing is, you can tell when Mercedes is up against real stars. And I have yet, how do I say this? I should feel, especially since this is
I want to see her build a star. Like, I want to see Mercedes get Skye Blue out the mud.
She's going to. Well, I mean, her project, I think she picked Harley Cameron.
She did.
I think, yeah, she picked Harley. Like, she picked Harley. But I think also, too, it's a lot of people coming off the shelf right now. So, like, who knows what's going to happen? I just think that because it's an Owen final, I want to feel like oh, this is Mercedes up against, like, one of, like, the top star in the division. Like, it felt like that with Willow. It felt like that with Chris. It felt like that the second time, like when they ran it back, like it was like, oh wow, this is why Mercedes had to come to AEW. These are the matches that she had to have. Like, these are the people that she had to face. This doesn't feel like that, and it should. Like, this match, more so than any of those matches, should
feel like the whole world has been waiting forever to see it, and we more so feel like it's all right. Come on now.
Exactly. Here, damn. So I don't know what's going to happen at this point. It is what it is. What I do know is if Mercedes ends up winning the Owen, they need to. If you are going to completely nix a TBS championship match from the entire division, who barely gets booked outside of title matches anyway, I feel like it has to mean something. The division has to get something in return. It got a main event. I don't know what other way to dice it, slice it, say it. I feel like that's the only way to somewhat make it worth it to the division. Like, they have to, if Mercedes and Toni are going to be going against each other, if we're going to rush this match, they have to kick this door down. Because if
feel
they
so
can't,
rushed.
nobody else can. And that's the truth. I
Yeah.
truly feel at this point, like if they can't, who can?
Nobody.
And it's not their fault. Don't get me wrong. I feel like there's at least five main event level AEW.
I also just struggle with the idea of Mercedes versus Toni for the same reasons as Mercedes versus Jamie. Like, fuck are we even talking about? Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many things to play off of for Athena in Mercedes to do, which is why it was so fun. Her making fun of MIT, her saying she's a bad teacher, the fact that it was in her hometown. There was so many cool aspects to play off of. I'm visualizing it in my head, and the idea of lesbian jokes versus I'm the boss, I'm the CEO. It just sounds
half-baked. I think
Yeah.
also too of one of my biggest criticisms of what they've been doing with Mercedes is that they haven't built efficient rivalries. And I feel like they were finally doing that with Athena. Like, you know, you had all this build, like these preview tags, and then they had this amazing match. And like, okay, like, let's follow up on that. Like, let's build that trilogy. Like, I think I've said, like, one thing that I feel like American women's wrestling has really lacked is kind of like, what is that signature trilogy? I like kind of like an Okada Omega, like what Hangman and Swerve was doing, like of, you know, and all this like of, oh man, I look at this match series and this is like,
you don't think it's Mariah, Toni?
Watch that. No.
Damn.
No. And this is why, not because of matches. Now, the feud itself, yes, it's in that conversation just based off of like the things they were doing. But I'm talking about pure graps. If you've never seen a promo, anything else, if I just play them matches for you, if I play Okada Omega 1, 2, 3, and 4 for you right now, you get it. If I play Hangman Swerve, Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, Revolution, all out for you. No,
nah. Their trilogy is absolutely a beginning, middle, end story.
It is a story. It's not excellent. The trilogy itself.
Well, you're comparing it to Kenny the fuck Omega.
No. I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying, like, it's not the matches by themselves don't stand up on their own. Like they don't. Like the matches they can't. The last match does. The last match absolutely does. Hollywood ending is a classic. Like when we go down of like the essential must watch matches of this decade, men or women, that match will be in it. But the other two, yes, are they a part of the story? 100%. But as matches, they're pretty forgettable. Like
I would say only the middle
is another good example. The matches alone, they stand up on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I really wanted Mercedes versus Chris Statlander 3 in the Owen final, because like I wanted them to
complete their
trilogy, because their matches, like their first two matches, they stand up on their own. In fact, in my opinion, I think the closest that we've gotten in North American wrestling, I'm not even gonna say the closest, probably the best is Athena and Willow Nightingale. But because it happened mostly in Ring of Honor, people go act like it didn't happen. But that's really the closest. Like the Honor Club match they had, the Rampage Owen match that they had, and then of course that magnum opus that they had at that Death Before Dishonor. That's
truly thinking about it right now.
And so I felt like Jesus Christ. I felt like Mercedes and Athena had all the right, and they still have, because it's not over. Trust me, it's not over. It might not be over. We might not get our finale all in, but trust, you will be dealt with.
But what if they do Lyric? I had an idea that if they do give us what we want, and Athena pops up at Double or Nothing, they're gonna finish the trilogy in one weekend.
Yes. Maybe not. No, actually, maybe not. And the reason why I say not is because, like, it was different. I had a different line of thinking when it was supposed to be Death Before Dishonor during All In weekend. But now that I know that it's Super Card of Honor, that changes a few things in my mind. Like Super Card of Honor specifically is typically a pay-per-view that is built around outside talent.
Yeah.
Like, you know, bringing in talent from other promotions and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be shocked if like Athena's challenger for that is somebody from like Stardom or CMLL or even like maybe somebody like Thekla. Actually, that's actually really likely considering after the match that they had you know,
in
like
Japan
this year. That like so I could see
which was really good, by the way. That was my introduction to Thekla. So imagine my shock because nobody like her.
I will say that I'm not even gonna hold you. That was easily Thekla's best singles match in a long time. It was.
Well,
like
you know, Ring General Athena.
So she had a gimmick change, and after Donna Del Mondo broke up, once Julia announced that like they were breaking up, and then obviously that led her going to Marigold and then to WWE, and so Thekla took time off to heal from some injuries, and then when she returned, she became a member of Hate, and it got really House of Torture really fast. It wasn't fun, and it was just really overbooked nonsense. But if we
not like her at all,
if we could get Donna Del Mondo Thekla back, we'd be in great shape. So, and like I said, the Athena match gave me hope that within parameters, she can thrive. I really liked Thekla, and I didn't like her most recent run, but before that, really high on her. So like the potential is definitely there. She can do things with her body that nobody else can do. Like genuinely, she can move like a spider. It's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I said that to say for Super Card of Honor, I'm thinking that they might not end it all in one day. Who knows? Because here's the thing: you got All In, but you got All Out too, and you got Forbidden Door somewhere in the middle of that. And so things are so much. The schedule's different this year, so there's genuinely no telling what's gonna happen.
I'm so frustrated with that. It was never that serious. I feel like if the entire wrestling world can understand that we revolve around one city during April, I don't care how you feel about that motherfucking company. Stop bothering folks. All of the wrestlers everywhere are in Vegas right now. Go to Vegas. Shit.
You talking about Super Card of Honor? Yeah, yes, I will say
because they knew that was dead wrong.
Part of why I even went to Vegas for WrestleMania week was because I thought Super Card of Honor was happening. I don't watch WWE, so I sure wasn't going for like WrestleMania. I thought Super Card of Honor was happening. When I had originally booked my flight, so I was kind of disappointed when it wasn't. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I guess I'll catch it during All In weekend. But yeah, those are the thoughts around the women's title program. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is all on purpose. I don't know if they're supposed to be trying to distract me about or trying to convince me that maybe they're trying to convince us Jamie's not a threat. Maybe not. I will say this though. If Jamie Hayter somehow wins this after I get over the initial like, girl, what was that? Mm-hmm. If I do get that dream match that I was looking for at All In,
you got to shut up like forever.
Actually, I'm never going to shut up.
You're going to scream it from the rooftop.
Versus Athena at All In.
Oh, girl, I thought you meant like you said Jamie used to be your dream match. So you're saying like if the match exceeds expectations. That's what I was assuming.
Oh no, I mean I hope the match actually exceeds expectations. Like because there's the thing, like I genuinely want Jamie to win. I think that the women's division could never have too many great wrestlers and great stars. But if I do end up getting Mercedes versus Athena, bitch, y'all gonna hear me from the rooter to the tutor. Do you hear me?
I'm literally beating my chest like a fucking gorilla about to fight 100 men. I am going to act like I am the queen of Zamunda. I am going to act like
y'all.
my shit don't stink.
I'm walking in Globe Life Fields. Nah, in fact, we gonna round up the entire nigga delegation. We taking pictures outside. Big Fallen Goddess, big CEO. I'm gonna treat that like
I'm so for real. I'm buying a Minion onesie and I'm buying those boss rings and I'm walking around everywhere like this.
I'm gonna have to get something custom made.
Matter of fact, next time I'm on the show, I'm wearing my Minion shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna need something custom made. Like I'm talking about. Yeah,
I'm gonna get my Minion number embroidered onto a blanket that says "All In."
That's dope, actually. That's really dope. I mean, I would also like to say, Tony Khan, if you do decide to do Mercedes versus Tony,
I will never say nothing else mean to you ever again. I swear to God.
We no for Mercedes versus Tony.
No, Athena.
No, I was about to say. That's what I was going to say. We still do need an Athena singles match in her hometown.
It's Thunder.
Y'all can fight at Supercard of Honor, not All In. Good God, if I got.
Oh, no. You're talking about on All In?
Yes.
Like Athena working the show?
Exactly.
She's not even allowed to work Dynamite.
Yeah, I would crash out so bad. I would crash out so bad because there's no way we go into her house. We in her house.
Y'all, not even her state, because Texas big as hell. She is from Arlington, Texas.
We in her house. That's where this is where you live, child.
That's where she lay her head at.
If we can't get her booked at her house, in her house, eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard the type of crash.
The wrath.
Feel the wrath. Harley Cameron ain't got shit on me.
Okay. Maybe just mute me and Lyric. Just mute the word Athena. Because you still might not be able to escape me even if you mute me.
Not happening. But moving on, we had a brief tribute to Sabu. Man, Taz had me crying. That was
me too. I got so teary-eyed. I really like the way he
Sabu.
spoke.
Man, that was really hard news to like. I became a wrestling fan right around WWE CW time. So like I didn't see like peak Sabu at least in real time. But I did get to see like Sabu, and of course like saw his appearances in like TNA and then even AEW later on. It's really sad. Like he's one of the most influential people on the business. Like I couldn't sleep the other night, and like I got up in the middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m. and I was just flipping through YouTube and trying to figure out like what to watch. And so I was looking up Sabu matches, and I found Sabu versus Rob Van Dam in All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s. And like it's like a time capsule because like one, you got like Akira Taue just walking around the ring and shit, but also like the things that they were doing were just so innovative at the time, and like they were wrestling a pretty almost like a tamer version, but still kind of hardcore style, like that ECW style. But they were doing it in All Japan, which is more classic style. But the crowd was really responding to everything that they were doing. Like it was truly transcendent. Like like these two foreigners coming in. It was truly transcendent, and you could see like all. I love watching matches like those because in the wrestlers, in hindsight, you can see the wrestlers that they've influenced that you watch like today, and like so like you see so much of like Sabu and like people like Mark Briscoe specifically, and like how they wrestle and the aggression and intensity that they bring to the ring. So it was just really interesting. I've been going through a lot of like old Sabu matches from him, either in Japan or versus Japanese wrestlers, in addition to like some of the like ECW stuff. I'll probably dive into it more over the weekend, but yeah, really sad stuff. Poor Taz.
I know he looks so sad.
Aura was Aura. Ah!
That nigga was Aura before Aura was Aura. I also found out about Sabu through RVD because same reasons as you. CM Punk kid, he was the ECW champ at one point. I was nosy. But yeah, fuck. That made me really sad. Because when I first got onto wrestling Twitter, when I tell you half of my feed was Sabu trying to be funny.
Yes.
I wasn't mad at it.
Really funny guy, like, you know, really funny old head. Shout out to him. And I think also too, Sabu was always one of the people, at least I would say in like his older years. I feel like, how do I say it? There's a lot of hating ass old niggas, man. It's a lot of hate. Like, it's a lot.
That's my favorite kind of old nigga, though.
He was never one. Like, these wrestlers, I think a lot of them really, the older ones, some of them like can say the stuff, they can say what they want, but I think like a lot of them are haters because like they genuinely hate, I don't know, like just very anti like the people coming up in the business now and just want, you know, just really like shit on everything that they're doing. But like Sabu was never one of those people. He's always been really encouraging and grew with the business. Terry Funk was one of those people and like really evolved with the times and really was encouraging. And so, hey man, he lived how he lived. So shout out to Sabu. Long live Sabu. Next, we had that Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia segment with FTR. I think we touched on it a little bit. I don't know, man. DG, I believe in you, but I'm gonna be real with you. Nobody believes in you. What are you going to do about that? They signing niggas who can jump out the gym. They snatching chains and burning tattoos. What are you prepared to do about it? I'm not saying it, but that's what the street's saying, okay? Have you seen these new recruits? Do you see Kyle Fletcher? Do you like Don Callis has an army? And I don't know what we gonna do.
Amen.
And I'm not saying that I don't believe you, because I do. I like there was a lot invested in Daniel Garcia, like with the Blackpool Combat Club stuff and 2.0 and Jericho Appreciation Society and Bryan Danielson and all that. There was a lot invested in Daniel Garcia. And
to this day, I feel like the ball was dropped on DG when they made him decline the offer to join BCC. I feel like to this day, that is the day we fucked up. Everybody was living for Daniel Garcia. Bryan Danielson told us on plain television, I believe in you. You're the one. Join me. And he stuck with Chris fucking Jericho. And now it's 2025 and you're still kicking it with the same niggas you got from Chris Jericho. Respect to them. I actually do.
No, this is right. Now, somebody said, Dani said this last week. She was right. They got to stop putting DG with these old heads. I agree. I think they did him a real disservice. But here's the thing. I think technically the same thing happened with Yuta. I believe that when AEW was first started, like the early way to really usher somebody in is just like almost like all the new guys get a mentor, essentially. Darby got Sting, Sammy got
the babysitter era.
Sammy got Cody for the most. No, Sammy got Jericho. My fault. Sammy got Jericho. MJF got Cody.
MJF was Cody.
Jack Perry got Christian. Then you get down to like that second tier. Daniel Garcia gets Jericho. Wheeler Yuta gets Mox and Danielson. Lee Moriarty kind of flounders around. Lee Moriarty got Ring of Honor. Shane Taylor eventually. You get down to this next one. Kyle Takeshita, they get put in Don Callis family. And then Kevin Knight is currently unaffiliated.
I feel like, how do I put this? I feel like people are looking past DG because we have Kevin Knights and Kyle Fletchers and Will Ospreays. But I feel like if Lee was anywhere in proximity towards Dani, I feel like it would probably be looked at as less so, because then there's two technical wrestling monsters in proximity.
Correct. It's interesting, I think, also too, of like, and even looking back, I can't say like it even was the worst thing in the world for him to not be in the BCC, because here's the thing. What's the alternative? Be Yuta? Because here's the thing. Yuta ain't standing alone. Like, I think Yuta has almost been shackled by being like,
I agree.
guys, in the sense of, I don't think any of us are looking at him as like a real singles prospect anymore. Like, he feels like an extension of Jon Moxley. Like, and he was an extension of Bryan Danielson. And so I can't even say like what would have happened. Oh wow, I didn't know the Hearts can do stuff like that. What can do that for real? Oh, mine didn't do that.
I don't know why. I'm on my iPad, so maybe.
Oh, maybe that's it. But like, yeah, so I can't sit here and say like, oh yeah, DG would be so much better off because maybe he just ends up a better version of Willie Yuta, or maybe he just ends up in the same boat as Yuta. Who knows? What I do know is like all we could focus on is right now. Like, look at how quick the Hook got forgotten about once they swapped him out in the ops with Hobbs. Like, we are really on an era of just like,
first of all, that saved the ops bad. Hobbs, thank you, Hobbs.
You gotta shit or get off the pot. And I think like also at the same time, AEW is so stacked to where being a top guy is not a one and done. Like, you have one great match and it solidifies you. Like, unfortunately, you have to keep being great like every single day, or your chain will get snatched and your spot will get taken, and there will be nothing that you can do about it. And that's just genuinely how it goes. Everybody is so good. Look at MJF. You saw how long MJF was folding it in, and then he saw that roster start stacking up, and he said, "Woo, let me get back in the booth." He said, "Let me really lock in." He said, "These niggas,
oh, you niggas are serious?"
They said, "Oh my God," he saw with Ospreay and Swerve and all them was doing. He saw Hangman locking back in. He saw Kenny Omega come back. He saw Big Takeshita taking over. Oh no. He said, let me get back in the stew. And that's just genuinely, it's even like Kyle Fletcher on the rise of, think about Kyle Fletcher went from underling.
Baby, he got in the kitchen.
2 years later, he's a legitimate top guy and a world title contender. Like, it can change so quickly. Like, it can change so quick. Look at Ricochet.
But also, what would he need to do to get back into that contention?
He needs to turn heel.
Ooh, that would gag.
He needs to turn heel. And also, too, they not going to want to do this.
It's because of that funky ass dance.
It's not even that. I think you can dance and be quirky and stuff like that, but you got to show an edge too. Like, this is going to suck, but I need Dan Garcia to leave Daddy Magic in a pool of his own blood. Like, he's going to have to ruin 2.0. He needs to cut all ties to all of his daddies and his backup.
All of them. Oh my goodness.
FTR to like DG. Y'all ever notice that DG always needs help? Always, I need a partner. Even when he was like on Team AEW, like, I need y'all to help me. I need y'all to help me.
He and AEW.
I need him to become a one-man wrecking crew. The only time really that I feel like, and here's the thing, I'm not saying he's done bad stuff. I think like even his TNT title run, it was pretty good. He was having good matches on Collision. But as far as like feuds that people really sunk their teeth into, because here's the thing, yo dumbass, why did you give Adam Cole that many chances? Why did Adam Cole get that many shots? None of this ever made sense. We need heel DG to really, really crash out. He needs to leave 2.0 literally in a pool of their own blood. He need to really like.
I'm just trying to figure out what that. Don't get me wrong. The 2.0 idea is a great idea. I'm just trying to figure out what that looks like past the 2.0 heel turn.
You got a feud with like. I think sometimes they let the.
What baby faces are there to beef with right now, other than like Speedball, and he's a tag guy right now.
In my opinion, if I had it my way, I would run a heel versus heel program. I think, personally, that AEW sometimes, and they do it with the women's division a lot, of when they're trying to protect somebody and not expose their weaknesses, they keep them away from their age group. I think they did this with, if anybody noticed, they did this with MJF for a long time. For a long time, MJF was never working with his actual peers. He was always working with veterans. He was always
fucking Jeff Jarrett.
People, but for the longest part, they didn't let him work really with people around his own age.
Yeah.
And I felt like for a time, like he was definitely going to get exposed. He had to significantly elevate his game to be able to go toe to toe with somebody like Hangman. Like, think about like the first promo that they had. He said something that was standard, like MJF stuff, and Hangman was just like, that doesn't work on me.
Shut that shit down quick.
Exactly. And he had to elevate. And I think sometimes with DG, especially, the only way that you're going to get through it, you got to confront these niggas heads on. You're going to have to beef with Kevin Knight. You're going to have to beef with Kyle Fletcher. And you're going to have to break your A game and go crazy and prove that you belong. Even if you lose the feud, you got to, like, the thing about AEW we know at this point is that a match done right will have two winners. You can win. Ricochet is a great example. You can get over so well in a program and lose and still come out of it looking like $1 million. And I think DG, they need to really let him loose. And for me personally, I think you need to send him to the G1, let him try out something like, somewhere else, come back refreshed, new. You've already tried out this gimmick, worked out the kinks, so all you got to do is run it on TV.
Period, Jack Perry.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I like the stuff that he was doing with Jack Perry. And I actually really liked it. But it was the match. It was the match that didn't deliver. And unfortunately for me, I am not this is great promos and sunshines and roses person. Like, I do like that. I love a good promo. But for me, if the match don't hit, I am calling this a failure. I'm going to write it off as a failure. Yeah. So that's how I feel about DG. But Nigel McGuinness, really happy to have you back in the ring. But I have a plan for you. I have a plan for you. Go ahead and set your calendar. At Forbidden Door, we do need you to suit up. So I'm glad you're already working. You're already shaking off all the ring roughs. You get in the ring shape. You have as many of those tag.
Yeah, like, I just want to know how long we're gonna do but I'm a commentator, I swear. This match number 3, baby, I need you at every pay-per-view at this point.
And Nigel McGuinness is, you know what we want. I don't have
first time I thought it was just for the pop. The second time I thought it was just to show love to Ring of Honor.
Truly.
Now you just doing it for shits and giggles.
You want
to be a full member of the roster.
You're a wizard, Harry. You are a wrestler, Nigel.
The hell.
And what the helly berry. And so I need you to clock back in. And also, too, I need you to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. so nobody gets this dumbass idea. I'll be honest, y'all, the fantasy booking that I've seen around Forbidden Door, y'all don't watch New Japan for real. I'm seeing people talking about some Ospreay should wrestle Gabe Kidd. Ospreay should wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. Do you know that actual Japanese people actually wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? I'm not trying to even be discriminatory or anything like that, but did you know that? I got people telling me in my comments talking about, yeah, Goto's not a draw. Which Goto? I know y'all not talking about Big Goto that's doing numbers, doing pre-pandemic numbers for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know you're not talking about that Goto.
Why are we arguing who's a draw from a company you don't watch for a show that's dedicated to collabing with said niggas?
They are lying.
We are under spells, people.
They are lying to push discourse. They talking about we need Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. Hey, I'm going to tell you where you can get it. You can go find that at RevProOnDemand.com. RevProOnDemand.com. You can also find it on New Japan world, you could type in 2023 Royal Quest. If you would like to see Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr., you can do that. It's all there for you. Great match, great gown.
I'm almost positive she's on YouTube. I don't even think it's shit.
You don't even gotta go that far, you know. The house
Click
is
on
already
off of this.
so we can do anything else. Hiroshi Tanahashi, I'm telling people telling me the ace is washed. No, there's no. Let me tell you something.
I am literally never excited for white man versus white man when it comes to Forbidden Door, unless it was Bryan versus Zack Sabre Jr. And that wasn't Forbidden Door.
No, I was barely excited for Ospreay versus Swerve last year. I still was not happy with it main eventing. The match ended up being a fucking classic, but
that shit was phenomenal.
It was amazing. But at the same time, I do believe that the main event of Forbidden Door should be an AEW versus New Japan match. And also, too, this is Hiroshi Tanahashi last year. He has 1.5 knees and more heart and better wrestling acumen than half of y'all. He's had 2 excellent matches this year. And you know what? That's crazy with his current physical condition. But guess what? He's a real wrestler, a real tried and true ace and main eventer. It's in his blood. It's in his blood. You can't put that man in the main event and he not gonna take it. You're not gonna put it in his face and he not gonna take it. That's just not what he does. That's not what he does. This is
so who are you thinking for Tanahashi to fight?
So I have thoughts. I have a couple of different goals. On one, we can do Ospreay versus Tanahashi. Has the match happened before? Yes, but I think, it would be really appropriate because, along his retirement road, Ospreay's already on the Forbidden Door posters. We could do that. Second option, I like this one a little bit more. I think that we can do a tag match, main event with a tag match. If anybody remembers, at the end of last year when we were heading towards the Tokyo Dome shows, Kenny, the first thing that they actually suggested was that Kenny and Tanahashi do a tag match.
I like that.
The Golden Aces finally tag up. And so, maybe we can do Omega and Tanahashi versus Ospreay and a partner, or, Ospreay and if it doesn't make sense right now, but I believe that Takeshita should be a face by then. Ospreay and Takeshita versus Omega Tanahashi, something like that. Ospreay and a partner. I'm cool with it. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, our Ospreay and Suji. Ooh, Ospreay and Suji. Ospreay and Suji. Ospreay, Yuya, whatever. Something like that. The third option would be, and I'm not gonna say I came up with this, but I kind of stole it. Abu said this for a while ago, that maybe this is the year to potentially move Blood and Guts to Forbidden Door and really do a real team AEW versus team New Japan. Here's the thing. I don't think you have to do that as Blood and Guts. You can run that in so many different iterations. And here's the thing. Guess what? The Good Brothers are back in town. You got all this different. You have a chance, and here's the thing. I don't know what Uncle Allen ends up doing. But by the time we get to Forbidden Door, there's a chance you can have a large chunk of Bullet Club past and present.
I'm gonna hold y'all's hand with a napkin in between. Let the Bullet Club go. It don't matter what company we in.
No.
Let it go. It's okay.
No.
It's okay. The Good Brothers are 85. It's all right.
And they still cooking. Did y'all see Resurgence?
Lyric, I'm not even talking to y'all. I'm talking to everybody. I
will also say,
Lyric, y'all focus on me. Let it go.
If anybody watched Resurgence, if you watched Resurgence this past week, you notice that match felt like and I will say, even taking all my biases aside, if you did watch the match for Resurgence this week, the War Dogs versus Good Brothers and Young Bucks, it very much felt like a preview to something. It felt like a preview. Like, it didn't feel like it's over. And so you have a lot to play with, you know, with the team AEW, team New Japan. Here's the thing. Swerve has not really interacted with any of the New Japan guys or anything like that. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff.
I want Swerve versus Gabe Kidd because I feel like that will undo the he can't wrestle allegations I've been seeing lately.
Wait, they said who can't wrestle?
Gabe. A lot of people are saying he can't wrestle.
I'm not going to – it's not that Gabe can't wrestle. I do think that Gabe sometimes can get – what is
repetitive. I agree with the repetitive statement.
Repetitive. But Gabe done had too many, not just great, but excellent matches this year for niggas to act like he can't wrestle, bro.
There's too many people who have been mistaking repetition for not being able to come up with something new, and I'm here to stop y'all in y'all motherfucking tracks right now. Bianca Belair get repetitive, and I wish y'all would.
Oh, I would die for Bianca Belair. Actually, I keep that thing on me at all times.
Absolutely not. We're not gonna do the whole knowing someone's move set. No, we're not doing that.
Gabe has just had too many excellent matches for me to even play like that. Like, come on, y'all. Like, come on.
One of them happened in my face. Can't do it. He sat on me, man.
Like the match that he had, the Tsuji match at New Beginning in Osaka, bro. They had the streets jumping. The Omega match in the Tokyo Dome, enough said.
I've seen like 3 before the Kenny match, and I thought he was cool, but not cool enough to say that like I was a certified fan of anything. The Kenny match changed my fucking life.
Well,
that's like Kenny, but
that's what a Kenny match would do to you. I mean, I remember like the conversation around Will Ospreay before the Kenny match. And don't get me wrong, bro. Will Ospreay was already on a crazy run, like in 2022, heading into like that Tokyo Dome match. He was already on an absolutely insane run. And I will be honest, it's not like he really tweaked the way he wrestled or anything after that Kenny match. But it's just like, man, it's something about my GOAT. He just put an extra bit of stank on you. And everybody just like, oh my God, damn, son, where'd you find this? Where'd you find him? It was amazing.
What's going on?
Like, it's just, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. Amen.
But for me, I'm one of those people, like the same way you said, even if the story's great, if the match flops, it's a failure. I agree with that statement for the most part, but I also am someone that when it comes to talent, if you can make me believe, you could damn near be ass. If you're okay and can cut a great promo, you got a fan in Big Mama right here. I promise you, you do not have to be Kenny Omega. If you on the mic, and you can wrestle a little bit, not a lot of bit, that's okay with me. Harley Cameron, get at your girl. Like,
unfortunately, that is not okay with me. We don't want your ghetto here. I'm not talking to Harley Cameron, by the way. I'm not talking to Harley Cameron, by the way. I'm just saying, unfortunately, we do not.
I was more so saying that in defense of Gabe. Like, Gabe is always going to have a fan of me because his mouth is fucking crazy.
I don't think Gabe is bad or anything. Gabe just talk a lot, and I think it annoys people. And I think that's the thing. And even, I'll be honest, half shit that Gabe be saying, I got to tune him out too. I finally am one of those people. What I like most about Gabe is when the bell rings. A lot of the extra rah, it make my hair hurt. I'm not gonna lie. He just get loud. He's so loud. Like, he's just so loud.
You probably consume more Gabe Kidd than me, but when I do,
yes, I consume a lot of Gabe, right? So like I think also that's the difference between, and I think unfortunately he amps up a lot of those talking qualities when he's in the West, just because, like I will say, American fans are more accustomed to more of a talk-based style, like, you know, more of a talk-based style and stuff like that. And so that makes sense that he amps it up. I think I prefer him more as somebody who watches New Japan regularly, just because it is more wrestling based, you know, like yes, like, you know, he might be talking, but like this is not promo type of company. That's just not the base of it. So like I get why everybody feels the way that they feel. I just don't, I will, but what I'm not going to do and sit here and lie and act like, bro, Gabe is a great wrestler. I think like sometimes he is nowhere as good as he's gonna be, and I think that he definitely gets in his own way at times of how good he can be. But when Gabe is genuinely locked in, especially this year, respectfully, I can barely think of people who I could say have produced better, at least as far as men specifically, have produced better stuff than Gabe. I can count on one hand maybe of wrestlers who have genuinely, I can say, had a better match than Gabe Kidd this year. And maybe not use all my fingers. And that's just the truth. And I'm not just talking about the Omega match. I'm talking about like very few wrestlers can I say were able to pull off anything comparable, let alone better than what Gabe Kidd and Yota Tsuji did at New Beginning in Osaka. And that's the truth. And I do think that with the problem that I have with a lot of this Forbidden Door discourse is that when you're fantasy booking Gabe Kidd into all these matches, y'all not fantasy booking that Gabe Kidd that I saw versus Yota Tsuji or versus Kenny Omega. Y'all fantasy booking just the loud rambunctious. Like, I'm not trying. Nigga, we not going to the O2 and Forbidden Door just to do a whole bunch of talking in the ring. I'm trying to see graps, bro. I'm trying to see graphs. Like, what are we talking about? I know. And the thing is, I love Will Ospreay, but his worser instincts and Gabe Kidd worser instincts do not go together. Even when they had the match together in Rev Pro, it was very, don't get me wrong, the Instagram lives they was having leading into it were funny as hell. They were really funny. They were really hilarious. But
that's not what you're there for. Gabe
is extra. Will is extra. When they get together, kind of like when MJF and Ospreay got together, I feel like their worser instincts brought each other's worser instincts out of like the need for drama, overbooking, overthinking things and stuff like that. Like, some people don't need to be together, let alone in a man.
That's how I feel anytime I see Ospreay wrestle a nigga who could do a flip. Don't have him wrestle nothing shit but bases from now on. I'm dead ass serious. No more Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. No more Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. No more Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey. No more. Sit your ass down.
That's fair. I think that there's a lot of stories to tell of Ospreay wrestling more grounded wrestlers. Like, yeah. So that's how I feel about Forbidden Door. I need y'all to stop with this idiotic fan booking when you don't know what you're talking about. If I hear somebody else say that Goto is not a draw, I'm crashing out. I'm just straight up crashing out. Next,
don't say nothing about Goto, y'all.
Yeah, never say nothing about Big Goto. Like,
about
Big Goto. Come on, guys, be serious. Next, we have the steel cage match.
I liked it.
It was interesting. Mox bladed for the first time in over a year, which was welcome. I'm actually, it might not seem like it on the timeline sometimes, I am a gigantic Jon Moxley fan. Like,
I ain't. So
massive, like a massive Jon Moxley. In fact, like on the rankings, like of my top male wrestlers of all time, he's number 3. And so it has been especially heartbreaking for me how much I hate this title reign. Like, I mean, I'm talking about butt, booty, cheeks, terrible. I have not enjoyed it. I'm not having a good time. And the mere thought of my beloved Hangman Adam Page or beloved Will Ospreay having to eat a bulldog choke at Arlington, Texas, it keeps me up at night.
Oh my God.
And I try not to think about it too much, or else it's really going to make me cry.
Girl, when I tell you, to be the backside of your opinion once again, I could care less about Jon Moxley. I'll never forget the day I found out who Jon Moxley was. I was into year 2 of not watching wrestling no more. COVID was just about to hit. My mama barged into my room. She said, I seen Dean Ambrose. He wrestling, but not like, look, come look. I go look. I look at him bald, screaming at somebody. I said, oh, and kept walking. And that's how I feel to this goddamn day. And I love wrestling again.
Wait, 2019 John Moxley had you feeling like that? I would have died for 2019 John Moxley.
Granted, I wasn't watching wrestling, but
I was about to say 2019.
Seriously, like I have just not been enthused, and I'm not no hater. Don't get me wrong. Like if I get a match that it entices me or excites me, I'm gonna scream it to the rooftops because he does deserve the praise. I just can't find myself to care a lot of the time. So when people are like, falling to their knees about this title run, I had a feeling. So I'm like, yeah, can't wait for it to be over with. But am I crying, shaking in my boots because I didn't think it would be this bad? No, because I had a feeling it would be this motherfucking bad. No, which is why today I was so happy because I love me some Joe, and he bladed again, which I didn't expect because I really appreciated the break from that, by the way, because it was starting to irk me that I can see your insides every time I see you. But he bladed again, which actually got a reaction because he waited a bit. And I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot to be said about Joe's work today because he's older, but you can't never say that nigga can't grab. Bro, never.
Samoa Joe brings tears to my eyes. That's a real OG demon, and we should be thankful that he's still here and he still wants to do this. The cage match was good. Like I will say, it just got so convoluted towards the end. Man, so much was happening. Willow out there, Willow flying. They out there. They on the other sides of the.
I liked a lot of it because I feel like we see so often that it's blah 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 Death Riders, but the fact that it was Ops versus Death Riders excited me. Maybe it's because I'm a Hobbs fan. I'm really happy that Hobbs is getting a push.
I'm not
him being out there for a world title match.
And I think that what has really helped is that on the opposite side of the Death Riders, they've really added some really compelling baby faces, like in Hobbs, in Willow. So like, and not that I was against it. It was just like, I was just caught off guard. It's like, as soon as I process one thing, I'm like, Gabe Kidd, and then you see like, oh my gosh, Gabe Kidd's out there, and then suddenly the Young Bucks out there, and I'm screaming because you know them my goats, and then I heard that Kenny Omega music. I started screaming like Raven Baxter, and that's so Raven. Like
that was me because I was running out of my room because I was literally trying to get ready for this. I heard Kenny's music, missed the Young Bucks. I came back to my room, top rope, catch it, vibe. I was losing.
Then Swerve come out there. Then they lock my goat in that cage. I said, Lord, help him, get him out of there. They are hog tying my goat. Get him out of there. I was hollering, hooping, screaming. Matt Jackson fiddling with this damn remote. Now he trying to get it up, and then they scared of Swerve because they know how you get when you get in there, and that's steel cage, especially when your little friends are here. You get real active, and y'all don't know when to stop. You right
now, if Swerve Strickland stood in the same cage he got stabbed in the mouth in, and asked me to fight again in said cage, I'm waving the fucking white flag.
The answer is no.
And fuck you. I don't want to fight. You have problems.
Exactly. We know how you get. We know how you get. But yes, I enjoyed it. I think, and also too, women in Anarchy in the Arena, I think is really cool. I wanted it all. And Anarchy in the Arena. It's not going to happen now. And I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather women's blood and guts than women's Anarchy in the Arena. I'm a bit scared about women's Anarchy in the Arena, and let me tell you why. It has nothing to do with the women. It has everything to do with wrestling fans.
I was gonna say the crowd.
From a safety standpoint, y'all get especially now, y'all don't know how to act. You clearly don't
give them the cage. Under no circumstances do I want 10 women's wrestlers in booty shorts fighting through the crowd so people could touch them.
No. So we'll pray for women's blood and guts. But I think we can handle 2 women in Anarchy in the Arena. That should be enough for like security to handle. But yeah, that's just.
I'm excited because I feel like Marina doesn't get any opportunities. I'm sure most of y'all don't know this, but Marina does have singles matches, a decent amount too. They're all on fucking Ring of Honor. But I don't know, like, I just feel like, how do you have the investment but not really? Like, you mean to tell me we ain't done Marina versus Willow in a real, actual fucking match not one time, and it's been how long?
You want to know why we haven't done Marina versus Willow? Because Marina is she's not a Willow level wrestler. And I'm not even.
Yes, but I feel like Willow could make
it. She almost killed her. Like, did we like that? We have to be real.
When
that mixed tag.
Oh, I completely forgot about that when she dropped her on the table.
Yes, and it wasn't just that one time. Willow almost.
Dude, I was so fucking stressed watching that spot because she wouldn't let it go. If you cannot get her body up, let it the fuck go and do a different move.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Unfortunately, I'll bet the house on Willow. That is our prized possession. Can't afford for her to get her or drop on her head. And also, Willow's had concussions before. It's not worth it. Like, Marina's not a good wrestler. Here's the thing: she's never been a good wrestler. Like,
I mean, it was have decent matches though.
Decent matches in the indies. She's had, and I think Wrestler and Revolver, she had some really good matches, which was agented by John Moxley. Go figure. But she's not to be on that main stage right now, especially up against somebody like Willow.
I'll get back to you. Marina has a Defy match coming up soon that I'm gonna go to. So
yeah, I think that she's good in certain situations. Like, I watched all her Ring of Wrestling Revolver stuff, and I do believe that, like, she was improving. Like, she's improved from where she was. But after that mixed tag, yeah, I'm good. Like,
yeah, I believe you. I'm not mad if you don't trust her after that.
Hello, I started glazing over, and my sister, I don't think she knew what she was. I said, fuck!
I was just trying to figure out why Willow didn't stop that shit. Willow was just let her keep trying to get the legs up. Let her keep trying to get the legs up.
I mean, she's trying to let her get like offense, like trying to make it seem like, two-sided. But like the thing, like, they're just so unevenly matched. But unfortunately, this is where we are now. It doesn't make sense to add more women into it unless, like, I do think that we end up seeing Chris Statlander during Anarchy in the Arena, though. Like, I do believe that
would be the reason.
Yeah. I mean, I think something's crazy gonna be happening in the Willow. Something crazy gonna be happening in the Willow. They're gonna have a hog tied. And that's just true. They're gonna have a hog tied.
You and this hog tie.
They're gonna have her hog tied, and she's gonna have to save her. She's gonna have to save her.
I really hope so. Ooh, but I had an idea for some type of feud or like tag that involved Chris and someone else and Willow and someone else, because Willow had been trying to make it clear pretty recently that she doesn't forgive her all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping to see some more of that, because Chris been acting like a nonchalant little boyfriend. Ever since Willow made it clear she don't forgive her yet, she been like, fine, type shit. Girl,
please stop. Don't act like you're unaffected. Like, you're
you mad as shit.
Yeah,
Fine, I'll see you there.
Didn't Marina attack Willow during their match that they had at Collision? Because it ended in no contest. And so, like, I know there was interference. So
yes, there was.
Maybe Chris reappears, like, because of that. Like,
to get her lick back on Marina and try to make it seem like it don't got nothing to do with Willow. Liar, by the way.
Exactly. And so I think, I'm gonna be real, they probably just gonna they are going to stretch this out as long as it takes until we.
For that to make some sense, Marina would have to come fuck with Chris like Saturday or next Wednesday.
I don't think that's out of the question, though.
Yeah, I think entirely.
I think we 100% see Chris Statlander on television again next week, because like everybody's on TV right now. Like all the top girls are on TV right now, and so like
I know who's not on TV.
And it's very, yes. I will say, Double or Nothing truly is so consequential. Like, Double or Nothing will make it
Double or Nothing dictates if I watch All In.
Damn. I was going to say Double or Nothing really gives us an idea of where's the women's division going for All In, like of just what are the matches going to be, and also too of I think it gives us more direction of like, okay, so are women's tag belts actually coming? I think I don't know. I think so. I used to not think so.
For them to have women's tag titles, they have to he has to put Ring of Honor back on the market. Does anybody else want to buy it?
Here's the
I'm
thing.
selling it again.
Here's the thing. You're using logic. And
they don't give a damn about that. My apologies.
Exactly. You're using logic, and that's great. And I know like logical people use logic. That's unfortunately not all Elite Wrestling. Unfortunately, Tony Khan is incapable of booking a match for women without a title on the line. And so I do believe that they do now realize that they're in a corner. Either way you spin it, like either way you slice it or dice it, even whether you do Tony versus Mercedes, or even if you do Tony versus Jamie or Mercedes versus Athena, you still have several top stars who are unaccounted for on the card. Like no matter how way you slice it, you built up Megan Bain, right? You now added Mina Shirakawa. You now have Tekla coming in. You brought Skye Blue back. You have Willow Nightingale and you have Chris Statlander. Yeah, you could put them all in the Casino Gauntlet. That could happen too. They're not going to set up a lot of non-title feuds. Here's the thing. I'm not against Casino Gauntlet, and this is the reason why it's not my favorite idea, but here's the thing. We've had 2 all-ins. The first one had 4 women on it, and they were all in one match. The second one had 8 women on it, and 2 of them weren't even in a real match. Other 2 were in a 0-hour match, and the other 4, they were in the only 2 women's matches that made it to the main card, and one of them ended up being absolutely terrible. And then so this year, in my opinion, the priority has to be getting as many women on the card this year as possible.
I agree.
There are several.
A tag match for the women is absolutely a possibility. I just think titles would be some bullshit. Like, for example, Megan and Penelope absolutely deserve to do some tag shit on that show.
I mean, yes, but they'll probably make the final. They'll probably set up a women's tag tournament, and they will do the final at All In. Like, especially like with the timing of it all, because like, okay, when Double or Nothing is over, we're in the first week of June, essentially. You announce a bracket on like that first Dynamite back, and then you start running these matches, and then you essentially save the final for all, like, because the thing is, once we're in Double or Nothing, All In is a fairly quick turnaround. Like, that's a fairly quick turnaround. So who knows? I think that it's going to be, I think it's more likely, and even too of like even the chatter coming out of Stardom right now, like with FWC, like they're like Taro Okada from Stardom is basically say, yeah, they're about to go to the States and do some freelancing. Like a lot of different stars are all aligning at the same time. I think as far as like the women's tag wrestling part,
I need multiple women's matches on Forbidden Door. You just reminded me about that.
Well, but here's the thing too. If you get tag belts at that time, that makes that possible too. Of just think about it. Stardom has a women's tag division.
Not gonna lie, Win Gory, Goddess of Stardom championships on the line. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We do need that. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, Saida and Hanan. Don't be shy. Come in, the water's fine. Yeah, I agree. I think the tag, like, you know, if AEW can establish a women's tag division before Forbidden Door, we can really cook. Like, Stardom, they have a women's tag division. CMLL has a women's tag division. We can really get something popping. Of course, you know Mercedes is going to be on that card. You know Tony's going to be on that card. You know a lot of different women. So, like, I think Forbidden Door this year, we can really make some shake.
You think Mariah's leaving for real?
Yes.
I think so too. But just in case we're wrong, she better be back for Forbidden Door. I know that much.
Yeah, but she's gone.
Oh, like gone? Like out of her contract?
I mean, not like out of her contract, but like.
Oh yeah.
She's done.
We not gonna see her. She gonna pull a Penta.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Great. Best of luck to her. That's all I got.
I ain't mad at it. That's so CM Punk of her. That's what I said the second I heard it. Because I mean, what do you mean?
No. I think that's giving her a little bit too much credit. In the sense of Mariah.
Not AEW CM Punk. I meant more so the name she made for herself is so fucking high.
No,
they can't
I agree.
That's
what I'm saying. I still think that's giving her too much credit. Like, don't get me wrong.
You think so?
Yes, Mariah did. Mariah had a really good. She had a lot of success in AEW, but I don't think that she has established herself as a real force to be reckoned with outside of Toni Storm. Mariah has not proved that she.
My thought process behind it was more so like the Punk Joe trilogy and then their trilogy and then getting signed. But I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, Mariah has not proved that she is that girl outside of the Toni Storm.
But here's my thing. I feel like obviously outside of Toni Storm, you do have a point. Like comparatively to the rest of the roster.
This is true.
Mariah will replace Victoria in NXT. I agree.
That's true.
But what I was saying was, I feel like, how do I put this? With that roster, outside of Toni, it's meh. But I feel like when she gets to NXT, and I say this about so many people who do the flip, it's like you're mid in AEW because AEW has Jesus H. Christ working there.
Yes.
But you're going to be the shit in NXT because you have so many tools already.
Correct. But also, too, we have to look at it for what it is of that's NXT, though. Like, my thing is, and if I'm Mariah,
I feel like they're going to keep her there for a while, though.
Not even if I'm Mariah. If I'm Mariah's lawyer,
ooh,
Mariah needs to hire Jade Cargill's lawyer. Jade Cargill is nowhere near as good of a wrestler as Mariah May is, but she negotiated that contract. I'm going straight to that main roster.
I would prefer her to go to NXT.
Here's the thing. I think if I was the person with the first 5-star North American women's match of all time, and I had all these accolades, and I've already won PWI Most Improved, and I've already won this, and I've already won that. That's a superstar resume. Like, and here's the thing, even Stephanie Vacker didn't have that. Even Julia didn't have that. And like, here's the thing, who we still don't know. But from a star perspective, when you are doing negotiating potential, Mariah should not settle for NXT. And like, don't get me wrong, trust me, I know what NXT means like to women's wrestling and everything like that. But nah, Mariah has all the accolades of just from her negotiating power. No. Because the thing is, by the time you get there, all the interesting people for you to work, they're no longer there. Stephanie Vacker will be gone. Julia will be on the main roster.
But the things I was excited to see are the girls who aren't leaving NXT. Because I feel like, obviously, this is more so important to me than you, but I feel like a lot of those girls, they lack depth. Like, they're learning how to wrestle just fine, but they're not giving me any reason to invest into them. Like, for example, I would fucking die to see like Tatum Paxley and Mariah May just tear it up, because Tatum's the only one who's showing me like progress as a character. Because we know she's athletic, but like becoming someone who I can see outside of the ring I feel like Mariah does a good job at that, and I feel like she'll help the other girls with that.
But here's the thing. That's it. That helps the other girls. This does nothing for Mariah. Like Mariah is 25. Like at this point, to be honest, it would be nice. It would be great. But she shouldn't be helping or giving like to really.
Well, damn.
She's a world. That's the thing. That's the difference. If Jade was a mid-card champion and went straight to the main roster, why would a former world champion go to NXT?
It's a good point. I just personally have more biases towards interest in seeing her work with the Sol Ruka.
I think that
I do. I do not want to see Mariah May versus Rhea Ripley. I don't.
Listen, I'll be honest. I'm not trying to see any of these matches.
Oh, I just stressed myself out.
I completely get how that would be stressful. From a negotiating standpoint, though, she shouldn't settle for anything less than the main roster of just like, you don't go from world champion to developmental. Like, it's just, that's not how this goes. What did like I said, like, did CM Punk go to NXT? No. Fuck no.
He went to XCW. That's why I went.
I'm talking about like,
that would be.
Did Penta go to NXT? No. Did Ray Phoenix go to NXT? No. Hell, even Jeff Cobb got to go straight to the main roster. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, that is the only point you grab me up with. If Jeff Cobb goes straight to the main roster, I wish y'all would send Mariah the fuck May to NXT. Okay, let me come down.
I mean, yeah, like that's really the thing of just I feel like, and WWE has done they've made such an obvious point, right, about of the people who come over from AEW, where they slot them in, like of just Ricky Starks and Ethan Page and all y'all go to NXT. That's like, but we see Jade, we see CM Punk, we see the Penta and Ray Phoenix. Y'all go to like the main roster of just Mariah has to be one of those people. Otherwise, like the thing, what is it? I'm not gonna say what is it worth. But also, like I said, it really changes things when you have the accolades. That's why accolades.
Have any women just debuted on the main roster? Like, I feel like I've been seeing men do it so much lately, but I have yet to see a woman like just debut on the main roster.
Jade was the only one.
Yeah, she did, but
Jade was the only one. Like, Jade was the only one.
But they had her doing stare downs for months.
I mean, well, yes, because like
that's why I forgot.
She's not a great wrestler, but also at the same time, though, she had the look. Like, she is like was built in a lab to be a WWE superstar. Like, like she is the blueprint for like this. Yeah. If you had to build like a WWE superstar from scratch in a lab, it would look like Jade Cargill. Like some people just really got it like that in this life. they really do got it like that, and she does. But yeah, she's the only one. She's the only one that's going really straight to the main roster, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
but even then, it was just like, oh, she's a free agent. Who knows where she goes?
Yeah, it was never up for debate. Like I said, y'all, that's also the thing. That's why I say, if you're gonna do it, talk to that lady lawyer. But see, Jade Cargill is from baseball money. She know how to talk. She know how to negotiate a contract.
You don't think that they would never want to put her in NXT?
They probably did, but also
Jade Cargill next to Sol Ruka look a motherfucking mess.
But the thing is, Jade knew her negotiating power. Mm-hmm. You came off of holding the
longest reigning TBS champ of all time at the time,
and also too, you're Tony prize position. We know for a fact you matter to the company, or at least you matter to him. You were on all of the marketing, all of the branding. Hell, she was on the cover of the first video game. She had. That's what I'm saying. Mariah has negotiating power. You were a world champion. You were the centerpiece of the most invested in women's storyline the company ever did. It's first 5-star North American women's match in history. All of these things. You have the negotiating. At this point, You just gotta let your lawyer handle it. And if your lawyer don't get, if at the end of this you still in NXT, fire your lawyer. You need Annalise Keating. You need Annalise Keating.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I know Annalise Keating.
Yeah, you need to negotiate, because girl, ain't no way that if the goal is to climb to where you want to go, you went to Stardom, you won gold, 99 matches, 9 months, then you go to AEW, and because you had those accolades, you were able to go straight to the top of the list, front of the pack, world championship reign, main event, Grand Slam Australia, all this different stuff. Now you go to WWE. The point is to elevate. You got to keep going higher. You got to get something more that you didn't get from the last company. That's how you go.
Your logic makes sense to me, but if I see her face pop up on a Tuesday, I won't be mad.
No, here's the thing. From a fan perspective, 100%. Like, I think it's going to be fun no matter what. But I just think my degree is in sport and entertainment management. I always think of things like from the business side of wrestling. So that's just me. I just think of like, girl, get in the booth. Y'all need to read contract law. I took a contract law class in college. Y'all get in that booth. Get in that booth. But yeah, guys, that was Dynamite. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. I forgot Okada came out there, roughed up Kenny in his suit, smiled and dipped. I love him so much. I love the fact that he really makes me approach the workplace differently. This is a job.
I really appreciate that Okada ain't slow. I just really adore that you can tell with everything he does that AEW is simply a bag walk that he is going on. A bag stroll, if you will.
I think he's having, you know what? I'm not even going to say.
Matter of fact, he might be standing on a hoverboard so he doesn't have to take any fucking steps. He is.
I genuinely think he really likes his job. I think he's almost excited to do things differently. Like, and anybody will tell you, like, he was always the jokester of New Japan and stuff like that. You
can tell he's not stressed. He's just living.
No, and he turn up on pay-per-view when y'all need him to. He gives y'all the hits.
He call y'all a bitch.
Calls y'all bitch. And here's the thing. It's one thing if it was stale and if it was broken, but it still worked.
The bitch thing worked for me every time.
He's been here over a year. The people still popping for it. They still get up when he comes out. They still love everything that he's doing. They still cheer his name.
He literally could go out there and hit the Dougie and go right back to Gorilla, and I wouldn't be mad. How do you not have a bodily reaction to bitch? That's so lit every time. I'm having a great time.
I love you, Kazuchika Okada. I saw him at the Knicks game. He was having the time of his life. I said, "Oh my god, I want to be him when I grow up, man." I love his life, man. But all right. Oh my god, it is 12:41 a.m. here. Ooh. I have to work tomorrow. But this was so much fun.
I had fun.
Yay! Thanks. We'll have to have you back one of these days. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. People are saying stream forever. Thank you. But unfortunately, it's a no. Mama gotta go to sleep. Okay, I'm very tired, but this was a blast. Thank you for joining us for the Dynamite Diaries. I don't know if Dani's going to be back next week. Will she be done climbing Mount Everest? We'll see. But her birthday is next week. So no matter what, we will be turning up toot, 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 boop, 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 bam. For her birthday next week. We'll have some type of celebration. I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. It's going to be embarrassing, whatever it is. It's going to be fun. I hope all of you tune in. Thank you for watching the Dynamite Diaries. Thank you for, well, I'm not going to thank you for watching Dynamite Beach Break because that's not my job. But thanks for watching the Dynamite Diaries. Where can we find you? Where can people find you?
Y'all can find me L3DeLow on Twitter. I talk a whole lot of shit about wrestling on there. I have so much fun.
And you can find me at Lyric Wrestling on Instagram and Twitter. And you can subscribe to my YouTube at Lyric Swinton, where you're probably watching this right now. But until next time, I shall see you all later and see you next week. Bye.